All right, so this is my card game, TCG, called Convergence. I'm gonna zoom in here a bit. Well, over here actually. So I started making this card game, TCG, during COVID, back when we were stuck in our houses and apartments and things. I started working on this, bit of boredom. I'm like, hey, I saw videos on TCGs, people making them, homemade ones, so I decided to give it a try. Been working on this for a bunch of years. So there's a TCG. It mixes a bunch of other, inspired by other ones like Hearthstone or Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, a bunch of other ones. Mixes it together. So what is this game? So there's 5 different card types. I can zoom in a bit. So the red ones are called Feint cards, which are similar to trap cards in Yu-Gi-Oh. The blue ones are rune cards, which are similar to, you can say sorcery in Magic the Gathering, or spell cards in Yu-Gi-Oh as well. Now the purple ones, that's my flavor. They're structure cards. If you zoom in here, they have a hit point, HP. You can do damage to them. And then the green ones are arsenal cards. They're like, you equip your units, which is what the combatants in the game are called. You equip them just like equipment in Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic the Gathering, like in a what is it called? Like an enchantment you enchant something with, but it has a cost as well. So here, don't mind the apple juice. All right, zoom in. So let's see. So if I can zoom in on that, it says this is how you win. Reduce your opponent's HP to 0. Now some of these rules I wrote down like at different times. So the HP now starts at 30 rather than 20, but you do draw a card, and now instead of 50 to 70 cards in your main deck, I thought about the side deck, but we'll see. It's actually 60 cards is the minimal and maximum amount of cards you have in your deck. And dual tip amount gradually increases, similar to Hearthstone, where it just goes up once a turn. So there's no resource system in the deck. It's outside the deck. I'll show that on a later time. And the player that goes first plays first without drawing a card. And the player that goes second, they draw the card for their turn. Let's see here. So the way the phases would go, if I can put it in order. So might be missing some papers. Let's see here. Might actually be on this side. There we go. So you got the typical card games. Got the draw phase. You draw a card, but then you have the dual tip phase where you get a dual tip. That's what the currency is in my game, and then it builds on itself. So if you have, let's say you turn 2, if you haven't used the dual tip from last turn, it doesn't add on to it. It just you get that plus 1. So every turn you get a dual chip, and it just gradually goes up by 1 no matter how many you use. So if it's turn 3, you get 3 dual chips. In typical main phase 1, deploy different cards, which is the 5 I mentioned here, 5 for now at least. Then you got the combat phase, then the main phase 2. Then on the back, that's your end phase as well. I changed the mode thing, so instead of strike mode, it's called power mode, because the units have power and armor. Nothing is like face down except for the runes and feint cards, which are once again the blue and red cards are face down, but every other card is face up. Let's see. Here we go. Right here, unit types or card types, units. It's the army of the player. They stay on the battlefield until they're destroyed by something or by battle. The rune cards, which is the blue ones. You play them on your turn. Let's say I'm swift, but that's a different mechanic later on. Some of these cards, they'll display for like later iterations. because they need to be reworked. Feint cards, like face down card, you know, similar to Yu-Gi-Oh, where you put it face down first for one turn, then you can activate it or use it. Then structure cards are remain on the battlefield until destroyed, that you see there. And then arsenal cards can be equipped into units, allowing different boosts. So you equip them, they have an equip cost. Let's see. See here. Unit terms. So I can show some of these. So these are terms: double attack, life take. So units have different abilities in battle. For example, I'll show you one. A card. So this is the iteration I'm at now, where I was actually printing them off on the computer. Night Unit Enforcer, you see that it says first attack, deals combat damage first. It's a 2/2. It's 2 power, 2 armor, and has double. It had to zoom in. Sorry, it's a bit faded. Double attack, which means it can attack twice in one. You see its attribute is light on the bottom left corner, and then W stands for the civilization. So you pick a civilization in the game. As of right now, like I said, this page shows a bit, like quite a few, like 7, but I'm going to tone it down to 5 to start. But you pick a civilization and you play as their general, and the red names are the general's names. These are some of the abilities you'll see later on as I'll start from 5, but mostly I'm going to be using these 5 for a while. Just have 5 to start, just to balance things better. And as far as what these are, kingdom abilities. So similar to Hearthstone, you know, inspired by them, where they use their mana to use their abilities. Like they have what's it called? A hero power, right? So hero powers, these are similar to that, but they have cooldowns. Like, you know, everything's permanent or cooldown, see 3 turns. So it'll be like a card that's in its certain zone. I'll show the zones in a later video, but there are different zones you have for the game as well. And you put that in the Kingdom Ability zone. Zoom back out again. So the iterations of this game I've done, as you see here, this is how it started. See, it's similar to Yu-Gi-Oh with the power and armor, piercing. Let's see, Night Unit Enforcer, that's a newer card. Let's see. But see, a lot of these cards, because this is the alpha stage. Well, all of this really is like alpha. So it's called Convergence. This is the alpha set. But most of the cards here you see don't have any pictures. I wasn't much of an artist. I'm drawing a bit more now, as you can see with this here. So you're gonna start seeing art on some of these cards, or actually all of the cards at some point here. Let's see if I can find one that's I'm trying to find one from this pile that translated from here. But it started with these, which I was just ironing out things, and you see I started changing it to 1, 6 power, 1 power, and in the corner was going to have the emblem of the civilization it's from. I'm gonna work that in there at some point. So for now, for the cards I started printing off and writing on, I just put the letter of the general or civilization. So Warren, as you saw there earlier, is that one. Yeah, some of these abilities might seem kind of broken, but like I said, this is just the alpha stage. At some point here, I'm gonna start playtesting and showing it on camera. But this is my game. Once again, it's called Convergence. This is the alpha set, which is gonna be these cards here. I'm start trying to make decks and then show further how it plays. So it's gonna be different from the usual videos on my channel. So I'm gonna start working on this besides my novel as well. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comment section.